You're mid-argument or mid-confrontation or just mid-sentence trying to explain why you're upset, and without warning, your throat closes and your eyes flood, and now you're crying instead of speaking, furious at your own face for betraying you at the exact moment you needed to look strong. You wanted words, your body gave you weather instead. You've probably called this being too sensitive. You've apologized for it in meetings. You've walked out of rooms so no one would see it happen. But what's happening in that moment has nothing to do with weakness and almost everything to do with a nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do, just not what you wanted it to do in front of people you didn't want to see it. Let's name this properly. What you're experiencing is called emotional flooding, a state where the amygdala, your brain's threat detector, floods your system with activation faster than your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for calm, articulate speech, can regulate it. Think of it like this. Your prefrontal cortex is a translator, converting raw feeling into sentences. Your amygdala is a fire alarm. When the alarm goes off loud enough, the translator simply cannot be heard over it. So instead of words, you get tears, the nervous system's overflow valve, releasing pressure the mouth was never built to release. And crying during anger specifically has its own mechanism. Anger is an activating emotion. It revs the sympathetic nervous system, your accelerator. But for many people, especially those raised to see anger as dangerous or unacceptable, the moment that accelerator engages, an older, deeper wiring intervenes, a kind of emotional circuit breaker, redirecting that activation into sorrow instead. You don't feel entitled to rage, so your body, ever protective, translates it into something more socially survivable. Grief looks safer than fury. Tears look safer than teeth. Here's the part that should soften something in you. This reflex was never a flaw. Evolution preserved it because for most of human history, unrestrained rage in a small tribal group could get you exiled or worse, killed. A crying human signals distress and invites help. A raging human signals threat and invites retaliation. So somewhere in your ancestral line, a nervous system learned to convert dangerous fire into safer water, and that adaptation kept your bloodline alive long enough to become you. You're not broken. You're descended from people who knew how to survive their own intensity. Now, the metaphor that will make this permanently make sense. Your emotional system is a pressure cooker, not a light switch. A light switch is binary, on or off, calm or furious, but you were never built like that. You were built with layers, with buildup, with steam accumulating quietly under a sealed lid long before anyone around you noticed anything was wrong. By the time the lid rattles, by the time you're standing there crying instead of speaking, you are not overreacting to one conversation. You are releasing pressure that has been building for days, weeks, sometimes years. And this argument simply happened to be the moment the seal gave way.
This is why just calm down has never once worked on you. You cannot reason with steam. You can only release it safely before it forces its own exit through your eyes at the worst possible time. So here are the tools, built specifically for a pressure-based nervous system, not a switch-based one. The first is called the pressure log. Twice a day for 60 seconds, you name, out loud or on paper, what's building. Not analyzing it, just naming it. I feel dismissed by my sister. I feel behind at work. Naming activates the prefrontal cortex in small, low-stakes doses, so it doesn't get overwhelmed later when the stakes are high. Research on affect labeling shows that simply putting language to an emotion measurably reduces amygdala activation. You are quite literally venting the cooker on your own schedule instead of its schedule. The second is the cold water reset. When you feel the flood beginning, the throat tightening, the heat behind the eyes, press something cold against your wrists or the back of your neck for 20 seconds. This triggers the mammalian dive reflex, a genuinely ancient piece of biology that slows your heart rate and shifts you out of sympathetic overdrive. It buys you back roughly 90 seconds of clarity, often exactly enough time to finish a sentence instead of abandoning it to tears. The third is the delayed confrontation rule. If you feel flooding begin mid-conversation, you are permitted, not weak, permitted to say, "I need 20 minutes and I will come back." Flooding physiologically cannot be reasoned through in real time. Studies on physiological flooding and conflict find that once heart rate crosses a certain threshold, no version of you in that state can access your best language. Waiting is not avoidance. Waiting is returning to the conversation as someone who can actually speak. The fourth is naming the real emotion underneath. Before responding to whoever provoked you, ask privately, is this anger or is this grief wearing anger's clothes? Often what floods out as tears during confrontation is not really about the argument at all. It's older sadness, finally finding an exit through a door that happened to be open. Naming that origin honestly, even just to yourself, tends to soften the flood before it becomes overwhelming. Now, the crucial caveat, the part almost everyone gets wrong, this is not about eliminating the tears. Do not turn this into another form of self-suppression, another way to perform composure while punishing your body for its honesty. The goal was never to stop crying. The goal was to stop being ambushed by it, to build enough early awareness that when the tears come, they come as information you chose to release, not as a leak you couldn't control. A nervous system that never lets off steam doesn't become calmer, it becomes more dangerous, quietly, until the eruption is bigger than any single conversation could ever justify. You are not too sensitive. You are not broken. You are a person whose body learned, long before you had words for any of this, how to survive feelings too big for the room they were born in. That skill kept you safe once. It just needs updating now, not deleting. If this helped you understand yourself a little more clearly, there's a free companion guide waiting for you. A simple breakdown of these 4 tools, plus a printable pressure log you can start using tonight. The link is right below this video. Go gently with yourself. You were never the problem. You were just never taught how pressure works.